Hey everyone, it's Midnight Spectre, and today I've got a bit of a funny story about fundraisers when I was in school. So I hope everyone remembers to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the video. So I'm sure that everyone remembers school fundraisers, and I'm sure that other YouTubers have talked about school fundraisers, but I'm here to throw my hat in the ring on this one. I think they're kind of dumb, and I can't imagine how the school's getting a good deal of any of this, because usually the school itself wasn't organizing these fundraisers. It's usually a third-party company, and they hold an assembly to show us kids all these cool toys you can get if you sold a certain amount of something. I remember these like mylar flying saucers that would soar so gracefully, and these fushigi balls, and this little like robot dude. I mean, these assemblies would hype the hell out of us kids. In fact, I have a story that I might have shared here before, but it happened during one of these assemblies. So I'm sitting through this assembly again, and we're looking at all these cool stuff you can get with a certain amount of stuff you sell. And I don't think they ever specified a dollar amount or anything like that. They would just try to get us to sell a certain amount of some gift set they had. But I remember going through my I'm too cool for everything phase, and I remember our principal got on the mic and she said there's another special treat for us, and I was thinking to myself, oh man, I wonder what that could be. So she belts out, it's SpongeBob! And a dude in a SpongeBob costume walks in through the gymnasium doors. Now, if you're a kid in the early aughts, you should know how huge SpongeBob was. Like, SpongeBob was the coolest thing to us kids, and all collectively lost their goddamn minds. Well, everyone except me. I remember these kids jumping up and running to this poor guy and absolutely mobbing them. Of course, I slowly walked over to see SpongeBob. By the time I got close, I saw the teachers were trying to get everyone away from SpongeBob, and I guess during the SpongeBob panic, a bunch of kids had accidentally knocked over and trampled this poor kid who was trying to see SpongeBob. I remember he was beat red and crying. I mean, looking back on it, and now that I know the kid was okay, it's kind of humorous now. But of course, these fundraisers were kind of scams. Because honestly, if you break it down, it was just kind of a convenient way for people to skirt child labor laws, because they weren't actually employing us, nor were they actually paying us. I mean, oftentimes, the stuff we were selling were pretty niche, like gift sets, smoked meats and cheeses, chocolates. And I remember one thing I bought from the catalog was a box of Auntie Anne pretzel hot dogs, which are so good. I mean, there are some times where I get the itch for a mall pretzel, and I drive my plush ass to the mall just to spend like $10 on a mall pretzel. Of course, back then the internet was still in its infancy, so I'm sure you could still have bought the stuff online if you knew where to go, or go through another catalog, but the school fundraiser was sort of convenient back then. I wonder how school fundraisers are nowadays, if kids just sell subscriptions to online services, because hell, even my grandfather, who's in his 80s, is reading and buying stuff online, so I can't imagine anybody really buying from a catalog. I don't really understand how anyone made money off of this deal, and maybe it was a hilariously small amount. I know, of course, that these distributors are probably getting a decent deal on all these items, but I certainly feel like the school didn't get much money after this was all said and done. It's not like we sold a bunch of stuff as a group and we all got a new computer lab or something next year. Hell, we were in MS-DOS for a really long time. I don't know how that couldn't have gotten us on Windows 3.1 at least, so we at least learned how to use a graphical user interface. But I feel like the only people who were making any amount of money would have been the companies setting up these fundraising events, and I'm sure they got a hilariously large tax cut or something for donating to a school afterwards. And of course, all these toys and stuff they had for prizes were stuff you could just buy in a store or from a TV ad. I mean, with how expensive some of these items were, I feel like the amount of stuff you had to sell would work out to being able to buy the most expensive prize like 10 times over. I mean, a better fundraiser, maybe a school garage sale or a school bake sale, where you $10 to get a table in the auditorium of a school, and maybe like a half day for the students, and then you can let the kids go to the fundraiser and buy cake or something from the garage sale, or they could just go home, which is probably what I would do. Of course, these school fundraisers were kind of scummy. I still have a bit of nostalgia for these events. They were simpler times. It was fun to see all the cool toys and stuff they had on display and imagine getting them. I mean, there's only a handful of toys from my childhood that I really remembered and even want as an adult. But of course, most of those are plush, save for the Nickelodeon alarm clock. I mean, if they had like giant Animal Alley horses or unicorns in one of those catalogs, I probably would have been beating on every door as a kid trying to get someone to buy something from me. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this week's video. Why not tell me about some of the school fundraisers you remember in the comment section? Also remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's video. See you!